Okay, so welcome back once again. So we're gonna be using all those things that I discussed in the past lessons, and we're gonna be practicalizing them or putting them into practice. Sorry, so that we have a thorough knowledge and, of course, a ground and in-depth knowledge of what we're discussing theoretically in the last lesson. So let me have my boiler codes. I told you. Let me say I have H1, H1. Let me say, okay, like I was using, um, I'm learning how to code HTML. I'm learning how to code HTML. Learning how to code HTML. Uh, I'm learning how to code HTML. So let me have a p tag. Um, Let me have a p tag. Say. Um, I'm trying to, create a body of a page so that's for us to have, so as for me to be able to use them. So let's say, these are things I'll need to do. Okay, let me, come on Z, come on Z. Okay, let me say, H2, uh, H2, uh, this what I need to do. These are what I need to 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 complement my learning, to complement my learning process, complement my learning process. So let's say, the paragraph tag. Let's say, sorry if I'm too fast. I'm just trying to get towards what we're doing. Let's say, um, let me say this. Mm, I need to be consistent. I need to be consistent. Say, let me create this. I need to be encouraged. Let me say this. Uh, I need to be practicing. Okay. So in this case, let me first of all, the first one to use is I want to introduce a kind of um, I want to first of all introduce the entity that is NBSP, that stands for non-breaking space. Let me introduce it here. So as for us to let me introduce it in this last, yeah, so that we can have uh, n ampersand NBSP. You understand? So NBSP. Uh, let me go on the new. Let me go live. Let me go live. Yes. Okay, sorry, let me go back. Okay, let me go back. It's not doing what okay, I forgot to do something. Sorry, I forgot to create a line break. Sorry, like I said, you forgot that I said HTML is white space collapsing, so it will not recognize any other spaces given to it. So the only thing to do to create a kind of uh, uh, to create some kind of spacing, we have to introduce what line break, which is what uh, which is an element BR, which stands for line break. Let me put it here so as for it to recognize the spacing. let me put another line break here, another line break element. It's a BR element. So let's now go live. And let me stop the server exposing. Let me go live again to have a view. Yeah, this is what I want. This is exactly what I want. So look at this. Said I'm learning how to code HTML. These are what I need to do. Uh, to complement my learning process. So the first one, I said I didn't introduce the ampersand NBSP. Yeah, I didn't introduce it here, but I introduced it here. So what it does, what it did for me was to what move to introduce a space, non-breaking space. You will see that the thought I need to be practicing, the I need to be practicing is indented a bit to the right, and that is one function we can use the ampersand NBSP for. You understand? I hope you get the what I'm trying to pass across. So let me go back to our code, VS Code, and see. Let me see what else I can do to use what we said in practical. Excuse me. Uh, Let me introduce an horizontal rule here. Let me say HR. We stand for it's an element that stands for horizontal rule. Let's say uh, after the uh, HR, let me introduce another p tag. Let me introduce another p tag and say let me introduce another p tag and say something like yeah, um I have told myself, let me say, I've told myself never to give up, to give up in this learning process, to give up in this learning process. And of course, let me introduce another horizontal rule. Let me introduce another horizontal rule here. Let me say HR. Okay, let me introduce another horizontal rule. So beneath the horizontal rule, let me say ampersand LT ampersand. Let me repeat that ampersand LT ampersand. Sorry, uh, ampersand LT. Yes, and then let me say ampersand copy and copy. Let me give it a bit. Let me give some spaces so that it will be a bit readable for you. Not for the browser. The browser, I mean, HTML does not recognize spacing without what? It doesn't recognize white space without the what? Uh, Without the line break. You understand? So it's white space collapsing. Don't forget that. So let me put my name, the copyright. I'm trying to create a copyright. Let me say F Teams in. Let me put my name. You can put your own name there. Let me say F Teams in. Ampersand GT is don't forget I said the spacing doesn't matter. It's just for you to be able to read it. That's why I'm putting space. Ampersand GT, of course, uh ampersand GT. Okay. So let me go live. Let me put off the server. Let me go live and let's see what it gave to us so that we can have an in-depth understanding of what we're talking about. Yeah, this is what it created. This is another good thing about that this is another real use case of what of HTML entities. So by creating less than, I created three less than sign, which is ampersand LT, ampersand LT, ampersand LT, and of course I told you it is what it's after ampersand LT you have what a semicolon. Each of these ampersand LT have has a semicolon after it. Then of course I created a copy sign. This C sign, this copy sign is what is ampersand copy, ampersand copy. Then I put my name, of course, as a copyright. Then I put ampersand GT, which is greater than ampersand GT, ampersand GT. So now that is that. I think you can see the use case here. Then in the previous lesson, I forgot to let me switch. I forgot to tell us about some kind of another inline level element. I almost forgot. Uh, I almost forgot that. So now let me introduce that and let me tell you what it does. Anyways, let me just try to put it here. Say, let me create. Let me create. Let me create abbreviation. Let me see. Abbreviation. Let me see. It's an abbreviation element. It's an inline element. Sorry. Okay. Abbreviation. Let me put maybe so that abbreviation. Um, Abbreviation comes with what? Let me say MDN. MDN. It is used to then abbreviation you must declare it. It doesn't make any meaning if you don't have if you don't include uh yeah an a kind of attribute. You understand? If you don't include title in the attribute, say the abbreviated word, this MDN, what does it mean? What is its full what is it abbreviated from? You understand? So you must indicate what it is abbreviated from. Let's say um we have Mozilla uh developer network, developer network. So Mozilla what? Developer network. Uh, Mozilla Developer Network. Let me put up the server. Let's see how this is working in practice. Let me go live again. Yes. So if I move over my mouse on it, it should give me kind of tooltip. Oh, sorry. Am I doing it wrongly? Let me check. Okay, let me check. I think I did something wrongly. Okay. Let me put it off. I forgot I said it's. Let me put it inside. Come and see. Let me put it inside. Let me put it inside. Come on, V. The paragraph tag. Sorry, I did it wrongly. Um, it should. I'm sorry. Wait. It should give me Mozilla Developer Network. Then I closed it. Okay, let me see. It should render. The moment I move my tooltip, the moment I move my mouse on it, you should give me a kind of tooltip to show that. Let me put it in the H1, sorry. Come and see. Let me remove it. Say, let me put it in the H1. Let me put up here. Okay, don't worry. I will. Let me even check. So, if you have situations, if you come across a situation like this, and you're trying to do something and it's not working, or you're encountering error as a result of you forgetting simple thing. It's just a simple thing that I'm forgetting, and it's common amongst programmers. We tend to forget the simplest things, and because we've moved to doing bigger things, so we tend to forget the smaller things. So in situations like this, it's not a bad idea. All the programmers do it. You just go to for you, or for anybody else, you just go to say, uh, you can just go to, let me go to Google. Let me go to Google, command A, sorry, say google.com, google.com, ask how do I use in HTML. That's all. How do I use? Okay. The API defines an abbreviation or acronym like HTML, CSS, blah 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 blah. So how to use it? Let me see. Let me go to mozilla.org. Of course, you can try it. Let me see. P tag. Blah, 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 blah. We use it now. P tag. It's not working. Using a P tag is not working. Maybe because of the, so okay, using blah blah blah. Yeah, we're using a P tag is not working. But that shouldn't. Let me see if it is deprecated. If it is deprecated, I don't know, maybe that's why, or that my browser is not seeing it. It could be as a result of my browser not seeing it, anyways. So it's not actually an error. I got it because I use it. I use it as it should be used. So that shouldn't waste our time. So that is that. It's another inline level element. I told you what block level element is, and what block level elements are, and what inline level elements are. Block level elements are elements that you can't create another one without what coming on a new line. You can't use, you can't have, say, H1 element, and of course P tag element on the same line. You can't have it. You have to come on a new line. For every, I told you ab initio that every line is core in coding. This is another line, 24 is another line, 25 is another line. You understand? So you can't use a P tag, that is a P element, that's a paragraph element, and of course the heading tag, which is the H1 element, on the same line, because they are both block level elements. So you can't create another without entering a new line. So inline level element, you can create so many inline level elements on the same line, like we did in the strong, when we were trying to use the strong element, like we did when we are trying to use the okay, I use the emphasis element, the em element. So remember that those are what inline level um, inline level element. So remember, block level element, you can't use it without coming on a new line. Inline level element, you can use it on a what single line. So that being said, we're gonna be moving to another element we should be thinking of is what address. Let me tell you how address is being used. Let's use it in example. Let's say I want to create address here. Let's say address address element. Of course, address element is used, like say I want to say I want to say uh, let's say 122 uh Zumba Mbadiwe Zumba but the way, or let me say, 122, Lucky Peninsula, Lucky Peninsula, uh, Lucky uh, Lagos. You understand? Say Lucky Lagos, Lucky Peninsula, Lucky. Let me see, PMB 11234. Say uh, Lagos. Let's have it that way. You understand? So let's run our code and see. Let's go to live server and see how this is working in practical. Yes, this is how, it gives another element that gives a semantic meaning to our to the body of our web page. You can see from how it's italicized, without me using emphasis element. It italicized it to a way that will be very distinct from the other code. You understand? And another thing I would want you to see here that I forgot to tell you is this. I need to be consistent. I need to be consistent. You will see that the spacing between I need to be consistent and I need to be encouraged. The spacing in between them are not much, basically because they are inline level elements. They are not block level elements. You understand? They are rendered using inline level element. Yes, I think I use an inline level element. Yes, I'll check. And if I'd used no, 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 no. I don't think that situation there. Because normally it should no, 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 sorry, excuse me. I used the block level element. I don't know why I'm doing this. I use the block level element. The spacing I'm on much, but it's just that the browser I'm on Mac, so I think the way the browser is using default browser. I think he's using a Safari browser, and that is why the MDN Mozilla Developer Network is not giving me a tooltip that I should want. Maybe let me try and use it. Let me try and use it on the Chrome and see how it will work in practical. Let me see. Let me try and use it in Chrome. Localhost. Let me see. Localhost ports 5500, power port 5500. Okay, I think this is better. Let me see, let me go back and use the what we were trying to use before, the inline level element that we're using before, which is abbreviation. So let me use Mozilla uh, developer network 2, developer network, the Mozilla Developer Network, and let me put here MDN. So let me see. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I think it was because of the browser I was using. So I've told myself never to give up in learning process. So I now put so if I over around it, you see that it's I underlined. If you see it is underlined. So I think hovering around it, it should show me some kind of it can, yeah, I think it showed it. Some kind of a tooltip. Yes, this is it. The tooltip, Mozilla Developer Network, and that is the use of what abbreviation. Hovering around it, it will show some kind of a tooltip, and that will show the meaning of the word you abbreviated, and that is the function of. And this tooltip is where is it coming from? It's coming from the attribute. This attribute here is coming from what? This attribute here, Mozilla Developer Network. So invariably it was basically because I was using a Safari network, because I was just opening a port, so it wasn't using Google Chrome as the default browser. So it has to do with browser. So I think that being said, another thing to take note of is to comment or make comment. Is how to comment or make comment in your HTML code. Comment helps you to understand your code, and of course, what it does is also makes it easy for you to collaborate. You understand? Let me say you want to comment on let me give a comment on this. Let me say this is how to give comment in HTML code. Less than sign, sorry, less than sign, exclamation mark, dash dash, it completed it. VS Code completed it. So in case VS Code didn't complete it, just know that it will be less than sign, uh, less than sign, exclamation mark, double sign. VS Code will always complete it. But in case you don't have um, an ID that would auto complete it, just know that this is it, and you write what you have to comment. Commenting is just a way of explaining your code or collaborating with your code. Telling other developers what the this line of code is doing, or you want to say maybe you want to come back to adding some items. You want to, in fact, it even helps you to understand what you are doing. Say in this situation now, I want to say I need to put some stuff here later. You understand? So it's a way of you telling VS Code or HTML not to consider this as part of the code. Commenting is just to tell uh, the uh, the the language you are using, you are coding, to ignore this particular line of code. You understand? So I need to put some stuff here. It can be to do, it can be anything you need to do. It can be you trying to tell your co-programmers what this line of code is doing. You understand? It is not seen on the web browser, but there's a way programmers, your co-programmers, your fellow programmers can see it, and that is through um, something called inspect. Let me go to VS Code and inspect. Right click on the body of the website, inspect. I think I did something like that in the beginning of your this thing. So inspect, inspect. Let me. It is collapsed now. Let me not collapse. You will see that it is what it can only be seen by fellow programmers, and of course by inspecting the page. You understand? If you inspect the page, this is what you what commented, but it won't be seen to non-programmers. It won't be seen to by non sorry, it won't be seen by non-programmers. It can only be seen by what? By who? Programmers, because of course they know how to inspect. You understand? So these are our code, and of course uh, these are our code. But this JavaScript is the code that was done by the browser as a result of us trying to enable us run our local host. This is it. So of course we didn't code these. It was embedded in it for us to be able to run our code on localhost. So that is that. Another thing we are going to be looking at is list type. List type. Let me go back to our VS Code. So list type. List type, let's see how to create list on the web page. Lists are very important ways to tabulate our content pages. You understand? Lists are very useful in arranging our content pages. You understand? And we have different type of list. We have the OL, we have the UL. That is, we have the ordered list, we have the unordered list, of course, and we have the what description list. And let's not forget, when I was giving the HTML entities, I didn't give everything. I want you to put that in practice, and of course, submit to your team leader. I want you to, it's an assignment. Use some HTML entities. I want you to use them and submit to your team leader, so as for me to know that you are really following up, and you're having a detailed understanding of what we've been doing, so that it will give me a kind of confident in you. You understand? And if there's any question you have, just ask on the uh, just put it down in the comment section, or you message me on Discord, or you send me a WhatsApp message or Telegram message or what have you. So delve down to uh, let's quickly go to doing uh, our our list type. You understand? List type. So I'm going to show us how it's being used to structure content on the body of our HTML. Let's say we have some content we have to arrange by ordering. Let's say we have something like this. Let's say we have something like this. Let me create another HR here. Okay, let me see. I think we have something we. Okay, I'm learning how to go. Blah blah blah. Okay, let me see. No, let me create another thing. Let me create another list. Let's say, um, let me create a list element. Let's say, um, uh, I want to be a good coder. I want to be a good coder. Let me create another list. Say, I want to be globally known. I want to be globally known. Let me create another list. Uh, no, I don't need to do that. Let's say I want to be the best. I want to be. I want to be the best. I want to be very good at. I want to be very good at it. Good at coding. You understand? I want to be very good at coding. And of course, we've just created a list. You understand? Um, but to have the list item ordered sequentially, we have to wrap them um, inside an ordered list element. And by wrapping, I mean nesting them inside what ordered list element, COL. So let me wrap them so as for us to have, let me OL. Let me copy this. It's just suggested it for me. Control copy or command copy if you're on Mac. So command V. You understand? So let me arrange it. Okay. Doesn't matter, but just arranging it so as for okay. It's bringing it to I mean command Z. Doesn't matter. So let's see how this is looking in practical. Let's go to our VS Code. Let's go to our Google Chrome. Let me close this. You will see it is numbered. Why is it numbered? And that is the function of what list item, and of course using ordered list. Why is it numbered? Because we have what wrapped we have nested all the list items in in an ordered list element. So it will list them sequentially by numbering them by ordering. Now we said ordered list, ORDERD, ordered list, ordering something. So what ordered list does is to what arrange list item in in a sequential order from one, two, three, four, blah 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 blah. So as long as you keep having them, putting another content to be numbering them, because the list items are what nested or wrapped in an ordered list. So that is that. Let's use an unordered list. Let's use another list item. Let's say, let me wrap this in an unordered list. Say UL unordered list. UL. So by UL, let's see what it gave us. Yes, Now, an unordered list, what it does is to what? Is um to give all the list item a bullet point, is to list, is to order, is to arrange all the list item by introducing a bullet points to it, you understand, to them rather. Look at, instead of numbering them just like we had in ordered list, but here, because it is unordered, all the list items next to the it will be what? A bullet point. I think that is clear enough. So let me give another one. Say, let's say, because we have done the same for uh, an ordered list, I think we should have the last one I talked about is description list. Now let's explore the third list, which is description list, with the element DL. Let me say DL. Let me wrap, instead of using UL, which is ordered list, let's use DL, which stands for what? Description list. Description list. Then of course inside DL we should have uh, uh, DL. We should nest uh, data term inside DL. DT, which stands for what? Data term. Let me see. DT. Let me use this. Let me data term. Copy. V. I need to remove this. So data term, and of course inside data term we should have what? DD, which stands for description details. Description details. Of course, let me say data term. Uh, let's say, um, what would you like to become? Let's say, um, let's say, um, what would you would you like to be? Would you? Okay, let me say, what are your wishes? What are your wishes? What are your wishes? So the data said, what are your wishes? And of course, these are my wishes. Let's see how this is working in practical. Let's see. Let's see how it's working in practical. Okay. What are your? Oh, sorry, I still have them. Let's see. Okay. What are your wishes? Um. mm, I don't need to put this. I don't need to put this. Let me put this. I don't think I need to put this. Let me know. Let me remove all these so as for me to see what it will give to us. It's good to see some things in trial. Let me see. If there's any question you are having as to this, please let me know. Thank you very much. Let's see how this is working in practical. Okay. I think, let me put those back. Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. Yes. So, okay. Now, what it does is, you will see that from here, after the bullet point, it was indented each of the list item forward to the right. So each of the list items are what? Indented to the right. What are your wishes? Um, which is the data term, and of course the description. Sorry, which is the description term. Sorry, excuse me. Which is the description term, the DT. What are your wishes? Which stands for what? Description term. And of course, each description term should have what? DD element, which stands for what? Description details. So we have the description details. Now, what we have here is as description details. I want to be a good coder. I want to be good coder. I want to be a good coder. Anyways, I want to be globally known. Let me correct some of the grammars there. I want to be a good coder. I want to be globally known. I want to be very good at coding. You know, so I want to be globally known. I want to be good at coding. So all those list items are what indented to the right. I think with these few stuff we've learned, I think we should be able to even explore beyond this. So our next class should be how to add links. We're going to be adding links in our next lesson. In our next lesson, we're going to be adding links, and of course, I don't want to expand beyond this time, so as for us to not to uh, so as for us not to get confused. You know, slow and steady, like I always say, wins the race. So the pace, we're gonna be going by pace, and our pace should be what? Uh, Slow and steady, and that is it. It's gonna be looking slow, but it's actually slow. But we believe more in you being um, having a steady learning curve than having a sinusoidal learning curve. And for everything, I think so far uh, we have been having positive remarks and positive comments from you as to the teaching methods and techniques. So if there's any question, like I always say, comment and send a comment. You can put your comment on the comment section, or you can message me on Discord, and I'll do my best to reply. Thank you very much for attending this lesson, and God bless you all. Thank you very